Guys, it's coffee time. Yay! Went to see X-Men First Class last night. It was pretty good. I put together. I woke up really late. I really wanted to get a First Class review up today. But unfortunately, when you finally get yourself to sleep at like 5, it's really hard for you to wake up at your normal time. So. So that happened. But today is Formal Fridays, which is something that maybe only a few of us are going to remember, but we figured, our workplace is so casual in terms of how we dress, even kind of bordering on the offensive in terms of what our t-shirts say. And so at one point, one of us was like, hey, we should do Formal Fridays. So I'm wearing a dress today, which... I'm just so not used to dresses. I'm not used to dresses or skirts. And it's interesting because girls who wear dresses typically feel freer in dresses. Like, they feel better in dresses because they're so used to them, or skirts. Whereas girls who typically wear jeans feel freer in jeans. Feel more used to jeans. I love jeans. I love pants of any kind. It just... I'm such a, flaily person that I like knowing that at any point during my life, I don't ever have to think to myself, I wonder if somebody saw my underwear that one time. Nope. There's no way. There's no way unless somebody is Superman or has X-ray vision. There is no way that they saw my underwear. And that's a nice feeling. That being said, I think that it's fun to wear dresses, and I think that it's fun to wear skirts. I just don't wear them that often. And typically, I'm the type of person who... if I'm given enough time in the morning, I will change clothes 2 or 3 times before I decide on what I want to wear for the day. Because typically, the first thing that I put on is not suited to the weather at all here. Because I'm so used to dressing a certain way. Mike and I were talking about this. When we first moved here, both of us, every time we would leave the house, we would put on a jacket. Because it's habit. When you live in Oregon for so long, you need... a jacket. It's something that you get very used to. But here you don't need jackets. Pretty much ever. Especially now. We don't need jackets at all. So, I've had to get used to not putting on a jacket before I leave. But then it bites me. It bites me because then you wind up going to work and somebody has cranked the AC. And then you sit there going, I wish that I had brought something. Just some sort of something with me. But you don't want to wear it, and you don't want to carry it because you're lazy. So, just never works out. But this is all rounding back to how I change my clothes a lot. Typically, if I put on a dress or a skirt for the day, by the time I leave the house, I will have put on pants instead. Just because I'm so comfy in them. And I know that the only way to feel equally comfortable in skirts and dresses is to wear skirts and dresses, but it's just... I'm a very do I feel comfortable now type of person. So if I don't feel comfortable right now, and I know that I can change it, it's like, why not? So I'm trying to work the word like out of my vocabulary quite so much. Which is interesting, because you realize when you're halfway through a sentence, you realize the places that you would typically say it. And then by the time you get there, it's like a race. You're racing yourself. Can I think of a different word to say instead of that by the time I get there? I've noticed that the times that I say them are... I say like when I need to fill a gap. I say like and when I need to fill a gap, which both of those are extremely annoying and should be cut out of my vocab. I totally cut out for a really long time, and now it's been slowly working its way back in. It's kind of like when you say something that you know is offensive, and then you've been saying it fairly consistently, and then you decide I shouldn't say that anymore. But then, a few months later, you say it just once, and you're like, oh, I remember that. It's kind of like that. I started saying and just started coming out more and more and more, and I just hate myself for it. So with it's either to fill a space, or it's when I'm about to make some sort of a comparison, or when somebody is about to say something within a story that I'm telling. I.e., she was like, oh my god, those shoes are great. In which case I sit there going, well, what can I say instead? I could say, she said, oh my god, those shoes are great, but that sounds very formal. And then there's, she was going, oh my god, those shoes are great. But then sometimes the tenses of the situation and what you're talking about suddenly switch, and people who are more sensitive to that are going to feel off-put by what you're talking about. Even I feel off-put by what I'm talking about if I suddenly decide that like should not be there and going should be there instead. Makes no sense. So that is my current flexing going on. Working the word like out of my vocabulary is actually on my 10-year plan. If you will remember when I said that I've decided to start making bucket lists, but only for 10 years at a time, that is on my 10-year bucket list. Within these 10 years, I will work the word like, unless it is necessary, and unless it makes sense, out of my vocab. 10 years is a lot of time. I can do this. I can do this in 10 years. It will happen. Yes. So, is there anything else that I say a lot? I say awesome sometimes when I'm not sure what to say. Like if I'm in a conversation with somebody and I really am interested but I'm not sure how to respond. Sometimes it's just awesome. Which happens on Dodge This a lot. Yeah. And there you go. Those are the things that I have thought about today. Oh, the other thing that I've thought about today is that if Peruvian hairless dogs were talked about as Mohawk dogs, I think more people would dig them. It's another thing that I thought about. I thought about that yesterday, though. That was I'm pulling a random thought from yesterday because Peruvian hairless dogs are put up in the lineup of ugliest dogs, and I think they're super cute, and they've got mohawks. It's like if they were called Mohawk dogs, people would be all about them. You know that's true. They're so cute. Why would you not like Peruvian hairlesses? Hairlesses. You should look them up. If you don't know what they look like, you should look them up. They're very cute. Specifically the ones that are like medium dog size. The tiny ones look a little too much like that other hairless dog that has really hairy feet. I don't remember. Yep. So, wearing a dress. But I decided to wear boots with it, my like super casual boots. So I don't know if I'm gonna get dinged for that, but I figured that's my way of balancing it out, because I'm like, these boots are so comfy. So any sort of discomfort that I feel with the dress, I can just be like, but the boots are pretty nice. And it'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. I will make my way through this day. And then right when I get home, I will take a shower and put on jeans. And it'll be awesome. I'm hanging out with an internet friend tonight. I haven't met a friend that I made on the internet in a long time. That's going to be really funny. But we're both, like, super lazy. So we were like, what are we going to do? I was like, well, we can eat stuff. And she was like, yeah, we can eat stuff. And then we were like, well, what should we do after that? And then, like, we could not. We were like, I guess. So I think we're going to see a flick. Because it's like, what yeah. Should be a fun day. But I am going to go to work. And I hope that you guys have a good day. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Wish me luck. Alright, bye-bye.